back to school, get a new degree, get a higher degree, get some certifications, do all these different things. Those things are good. Okay, ladies, so I feel like I have adopted a new series on this channel in regards to like career changing jobs in your 40s and all this good jazz, but I'm loving it because you guys are receptive to it and you guys talk with me about it, so I'm here for it. I know I had mentioned in one of my videos in regards, I think my first video about changing careers in your 40s, I talked about transferable skills. So one of you lovely ladies had mentioned down below that you wanted me to kind of get more in depth about what transferable skills are. So here is that video. Let's talk about it because it's super important, and that's how I was able to nail my job that I have now. Transferable skills, because sometimes we may feel we're not qualified for a job, and sometimes we feel like what the job description may say, we don't have those skills on our resume, and we don't want to lie. But you're not lying, you're just rewording it, but they know what you mean. Trust me when I tell you. So let's get right in. As the market grows and advances, some things never change, and what that is skills. And we all have amazing skills, especially if you're in your 40s. That means you have worked some time, you have put some time in, and you have a ton of skills. And I don't want to hear nothing about, no, this is kind of off the cuff, about as you get older, employers really don't want to hire older employees. I'm going to do a video on that because that's not true. I feel like employers do want to hire older employees due to the nature of the skill set, the mindset, and the work ethic. Not that nobody younger doesn't have good work ethics. It's just something that I'm going to get into later. That's going to be another video. So if I don't do it, remind me, but I'm going to put a note over here that I got to do that. Learning new things is great, but sometimes we really shortchange ourselves. When wanting to change careers, we feel like we have to go back to school, get a new degree, get a higher degree, get some certifications, do all these different things. Those things are good, but sometimes you don't have to do that. You can just go back to your resume and look at your skill, or better yet, you know what you do at them jobs. Just tap into. And like I said, sometimes when we actually sit down and go through these different things, we realize that we already have the skills and we ain't gotta do nothing but apply for the job and present ourselves and sell ourselves in an interview. And I'm gonna get into that too. Ooh, I'm gonna get into that too. So how to identify your transferables. So like I mentioned before, you in your 40s, you done worked a few jobs, you done got a couple of promotions, you done did some lateral moves, you done did all these different things. So think about it. All these different places, you had to learn so many different things at these jobs. Now, disclaimer, I am not a career coach. I'm not any of that. I'm just pretty much sharing what I have done in the recent. I recently changed jobs. Yes, I do work at 8 to 5. For those of you who are new here and do not know, I do have a job and I definitely do this YouTube thing over here. So the first step is to understand what the new job or the new position is looking for. So you're gonna go through the description. So I'm gonna use a fake name for the moment just to kind of give you an example. Jane. Jane is an employee who's been working, amongst the staff, amongst a team, but supervisor position has came available and it's entry level. She's nervous because she's never been in management before, and she's just feeling like, she doesn't think she qualifies for the job. And she's like, well, how can I get into management if I've never done any management before? So when you're thinking like that, sometimes that can kind of put you in a rut. That can kind of put you in a space where you feel like, okay, well, I got to keep applying for these other kind of jobs, kind of stay in a lateral slide. Or if I do go up 1 or 2, I'm still in those positions, but I still have a manager over me or supervisor. But when you want to move up, you can use the skills that you do have to get in those management positions. So we're back on Jane. Okay, let's get into some transferable skills. Communication, customer service. So you see on a job description, good communication skills. You like, well, in my job, I don't really talk to anybody. You know, I answer emails all day, so I don't really talk. And don't say that. You have good communication skills. You email, you answer, you do correspondence. If it's via mail, snail mail, because you know businesses still use that. If it's inner office mail, if it's via the actual email system, someone may email you by an account, and you're emailing back. As long as you email in a professional manner and you're going back and forth and you're providing that information, you are communicating, and you're providing good communication, and that's customer service. So you have to know how to be quick and how to be sad. Relationship building. You're like, relationship building? What do you mean relationship building? Teamwork. Can you work with a team? I'm just throwing it out. A couple of other terms you may hear that your skills can be transferred into is, I'm writing it down here, I have time management, change management, creativity, and leadership. Let me give you like a little scenario. I had to write this out. I really want to like really make sure that, you know, I gave a really good presentation in regards to how someone can step into an entry-level management position, supervisor, if you will, and they've been a part of a team and things like that. So let me give you a quick scenario on how you can use your skills and make them transferable into a position that might be of an entry-level management position from just being, you know, a part of a team. Here we go. So let me give you this scenario. There's a new entry-level supervisor position. You don't have any management experience, but however, on the team that you do work on, you are a part of a project and you lead the project. You're not a team lead, but you do lead the project. And the project consists of maybe 10 to 15 individuals. Now this can be, you know, 10 to 15 new hires. This can be 10 to 15 people working on a project for an actual client, whatever the case may be. You're overseeing it. Now, some of the things that you might be doing that you don't even realize that you're doing, that will qualify you for this supervisor position. Let's get into it. You're managing deadlines for this particular project. Now, again, if you're working for a client, you're working on contracts or whatever, everything has a deadline. So you're making sure these 10 to 15 people are doing their part to make sure that this actual project gets done. Now, if it's new hires, like, you know, sometimes I remember being in this position where you're the seasoned person on the job, a new hire comes in and you're training the person, they're sitting next to you, they're shadowing, you're asking them questions, making sure that they're doing their, that they're learning the position and they understand, and you may ask them a couple of questions, kind of understanding and on board with what's going on. And then you provide that feedback back to your supervisor or your manager to let them know that, yeah, Jane is doing good, she's okay, she's catching on quick. So let me tell you what that is. That is called monitoring your peers. Okay? You're monitoring your peers, even though that is your coworker, but yet you're still setting expectations for Jane because you want Jane to learn the job. And you're like, look here, you know, you're saying it in a nice way, of course. You know, you gotta learn this, you gotta learn that, and if you don't know, let me know so I can show you again, so forth and so on. So that's a part of what you know supervisors do. You are evaluating Jane's performance, seeing how she's working on accounts, working on contracts, how she's responding to emails and all this good jazz. You're setting goals for Jane. You like, okay, Jane, I'm gonna give you these 2 accounts. You can work on these, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna check on you and see how you doing. You done gave her a go. Now she gotta go meet it. These are skills that managers, supervisors use to manage staff. So you're doing them and you don't even realize it. So when you put these things on your resume, or if you put them in the, you know, say if you have a job application and you're saying, yes, I do know these things, when you're actually having your interview, that's how you're going to sell yourself. And I'm going to get into that too. How to sell yourself in the interview. Let me tell you something. At one point, I was a serial interview when I was getting the job that I have now. And I learned so much because so much has changed from when I got my job years ago to what's going on now. You know, everybody's running around here with a degree. You know, a bachelor's is like a high school diploma. A master's is like a bachelor's. You know, things have deep value, like cars. So it's like the competition was like thick. So in saying all of that, I guess you can guess it. You really do have leadership skills, or Jane has leadership skills, and she can apply for that job, and she can sell herself, and she can be one of the running candidates for the actual position. By saying all those things, she can definitely be in the top 2 at the entry level position of supervising, because one, it's like she's gonna get a promotion, but it's like kind of a lateral, because she's been playing team lead and not being a team lead, but she's been doing things for the department and for the, you know, the team per se, right? So that's how you identify your transferable skills. For those of you who have changed careers in your 40s, or just, you know, even in the past, it doesn't have to be in your 40s, how did you identify your transferable skills if you changed, or even if you wanted a promotion? What did you do? Leave it down in the comments so everybody can kind of learn and have, you know, dialogue going and things like that, because I want us all to learn from each other. So I want to say hey to all my new subscribers, hey to all my loyals. Thanks for hanging out with me. Catch you next video. Bye.